Getting in the habit of that, ain't you?
Oh, hi, Verona. Verena. Did I say your name right? Verena?
Hi, Verena.
Okay. Let me share my screen real quick. Give me a second. Some of the questions we have done before, but I'm gonna do it anyways, because the more times you see it, the more times you will memorize it. Okay? So bear with me if you've seen that question before. Let me share my screen. This is only going to be an hour. It's going to feel fast because we're going to be like question after question after question. Um,
All right, but that's why we got a badass teacher.
okay. It's a lot of it's going to feel repetitive, but then at the end you're going to actually memorize. Like for example, um, it's going to ask like minimum equipment, and at the end you'll feel like super confident what the minimum equipment is, right? So, and some of the questions we've actually have done before, so you're not going crazy if you're like, oh wait, I've seen that. Okay. What minimum equipment is required for a flight from Clearburg County Airport, Area 7, to Corpus Christi International Airport, Area 3? So, um, I'm gonna zoom in here. I found it right here.
Okay, yeah, you gotta mute your microphone.
Huh? Sorry.
You're good.
Okay. Clearburg is right here. Okay. If you remember, this shaded magenta means that class E starts at 700, which means Clearburg is actually a class G airport. You don't need any equipment to be in class G or in class E. But the problem is, if we're going to Corpus Christi, which should be this airport, you see this ring, that's a class C. So now you have to remember what are the minimum requirements for class C. So you have to remember um, you need an ADSB, you need a transponder, not just any transponder, but has to be a mode C transponder. What does that mean? It means it needs to have altitude reporting capability, or we learned another word for it, encoding altimeter. So that's the other word for it. And then the third thing is two-way radio, two-way radios. So now we're going to find a answer that has all three of those. This one has ADSB, which is true. ADSB is required, but it's not complete. This one's just a two-way radio equipment, which is also true. Two-way radio equipment is required. This one has the most complete answer because it has two-way radio equipment and it has the mode C transponder with altitude reporting equipment. So I'm going to press C. If you actually look at the answers, it says A is incorrect because ADSB is not required. The reason why it says that is because this is an old question. They only started requiring ADSB in 2020. So this was written um, way before 2020. So sometimes I email you the answers and the questions, and if you're like studying by going over the answers and then you read this and this confuses you, just remember that the rules get updated every year. Some of the rules are outdated. This in 2020, ADSB was required. So, and this is an old question. Okay. Unless otherwise specified, Federal Airways include Class E airspace extending for. Okay. So Federal Airways are going to be found in Class E. So now we have to remember, when does Class E start? Okay, we have to remember when does Class E start. And while we remember that, there are two uh altitudes that Class E starts, if you remember. The two altitudes are 700 or 1200, okay? And now this uh what's it called, rounds down the answers. It could be 700 or it could be 1200. However, it says unless otherwise specified, because if you remember, if you look at the map will tell you if it starts at 700, okay? But everywhere else that is not specified, you just have to know it starts at 1200. So this is the key word, unless otherwise specified. So the answer is actually B. 1,200 feet above the surface up to and including 17,999. Okay, what happens at 17,999? Anyone remember?
The jets are gonna come get you.
The jets are gonna come get you. Yeah, because what are the jets flying? They're flying at 18,000 feet.
18,000 MSL.
Yeah, and then that's class what?
That's
Hey,
alpha. You got to
Yes,
reset it to
yes.
2992.
Yeah,
you
so the
might get
answer
shot if you don't listen to them.
hopefully you don't get shot. That's not a good place you want to be in. Okay, so we already talked about this. See, it's repetitive, and the more we see this, the more it's going to stick in our brain, right? So Class E airspace extends upward from either 700 or 1,200. So now we've seen this is like the second time knowing when it starts, but does not include, and this is like the same question, right? And we just talked about this, 1,800 feet. This is good. The more we see the question, the more it's going to stick in our brain. Okay. So the now Fentress Airport is in what type of airspace? Now we have to find it. It says it's in Area 1. So I'm going to zoom in at Area 1. And it's right here. See, it says Fentress Now, and then there's a dashed magenta segmented airspace. I'm going to let you guys guess. What is this airspace? Who can tell me what is this dash
E?
magenta? E? Yes, it's E. Wow, good.
Woohoo!
It's E, Class E. Yeah, Class E. So Class E, if you remember, can start at either the surface or 700 or 1,200. If it starts at the surface, let's actually look at this. If it starts at the surface, it'll be that dashed magenta. If it starts at 700, it'll be a shaded magenta. And if it starts at 1,200, it will be nothing. It's not going to be at the map at all. It's just something you have to memorize. Everywhere else starts at 1,200.
Oh, no, that one.
Okay. Okay. Normal VFR operations in Class D airspace with an operating control tower require the ceiling and visibility to be at least. So this is where you have to remember the triangle, what are the visibility requirements, and what are the cloud requirements.
A?
You want to try A? It's not
Nope.
A.
Oh
Okay.
man.
Let's look at the triangle really fast, really quick. So because we're gonna use this again.
I got it right here.
You got it in front of me. You got it in front of you. Okay. So B, 3 statute miles clear of clouds. Okay. C, D, E, it's all the same. 3 statute miles visibility. Maybe I'll draw the clouds too. This is a cloud. You need to be 1,000 feet above. You need 500 feet below, 2,000 feet.
I thought you said G.
Oh,
My
where?
bad.
Oh, this question? You thought I
D.
said G? It's a D. That's why, isn't it?
My bad. My
Yeah.
bad.
Okay. Well, I'll go through this real quick because it's going to ask more questions and we just have to know it. So nighttime in Class G is the same as everything else. So you can just group this together. The
He
only
says
the
52.
only ones that are different would be G during the day, and then it would be different between for 1,200 AGL. So below 1,200 AGL, 1 statute miles clear of clouds. Otherwise, in the daytime, it's the regular cloud clearance, so 152. But 1 statute mile visibility during the day. And then the other thing that's different is at 10,000 MSL, above 10,000 MSL, 5 statute miles visibility, 1,000 above, 1,000 below, and 1 mile horizontal. Good? Okay. Yeah, and then it has the answers right here. Okay, this is something we should have known from regulations class. And then we're also reviewing it again in airport operations class. I'll give you a really quick
It's A.
It's A? Good, good. But good job. For the other people, really quick. This is airspace. Airport. Yeah, we went over this in regulations. We'll really quick. We have to go over it again, I guess. I put it back in here. Actually, I didn't. No, I did. Okay. Okay, steady green. For flight means you're clear to land. For on the ground, take off. Flashing green, clear to taxi on the ground. Return to landing to be followed by steady green for flight. Steady red, stop on the ground. For flight, you can't stop in the sky, so all you have to do is give way to other aircraft and continue circling. Flashing red, taxi clear of runway in use, probably because there is somebody landing on that runway, or there might be a danger on the runway. For aircraft, airport unsafe, do not land. Flashing white, return to starting point on the airport. For aircraft, there's nothing. This is a trick question. I remember when I was a student, before I was gonna take a check ride, I was like having one of those checks with the instructors, and then he asked me, "What is flashing white for aircraft in flight?" I could not, in the life of me, remember it, and the reason why I could not remember it because there's nothing. He got me there. He got me. There's nothing to remember. That's why I didn't remember it. Alternating red and white, red and green. So this one's easy to remember because it is the same for both ground and flight. Exercise extreme caution. Okay? And now we can go through this. Yeah, good job for getting A. That's good. Which light signal from the control tower clears the pilot?
Miss Casey,
Yes, go ahead.
what was that last question? I'm sorry, I've not been able to look. My kids have been crazy, and I'm trying to make dinner.
This one, a steady green light signal directed from the control tower to an aircraft in flight is a signal that the pilot is cleared to land. So
Got it. Okay.
think green. Green would be either clear to land or clear to take off.
Thank you.
Yep. Okay, anyone want to do this one? Which light signal from the control tower clears a pilot to taxi?
A.
Say again.
Nice. Good, you guys been studying. If the control tower uses a light signal to direct a pilot to give way to other aircraft and continue, circling the light would be...
Flashing.
Alternating.
Oh, I thought it was.
Okay, I'm hearing two answers. I heard someone say flashing.
Red and green? Isn't red and green alert?
I think
No,
it
it's
was
caution. It's A. No, you're right.
like
Okay,
a steady flashing red.
Yeah, I thought it was flashing red.
so I'm hearing flashing red, and I'm hearing steady red.
Because it's not alternating red and green.
It's flashing red.
Okay. Yeah.
I'm
A.
gonna go. Okay, I hear the consensus as flashing red. It's
Oh.
actually
I meant to say steady red.
Okay.
I did not mean
Well,
to.
this is okay. This is practice, right? The more times we see this, the more it's gonna stick on our brain. So when you think red, think like a stop sign. So on the ground, if you see a red, you have to stop. But if you're in the sky, you can't stop. So what are you gonna do? Instead, you're just gonna fly in a circle because you can't stop in the sky, right?
Right.
Flashing red, remember, airport is unsafe. So if something's flashing, think like danger, right? So this is how you're gonna remember it. Think of a stop sign.
Oh. No sound.
You're muted, Casey.
Hello, can you hear me?
There you go.
Sorry, I was making sure my microphone just switched. You
Yeah.
can hear me, right? Hello?
You're good. You're good.
Okay. Okay, good. Yeah. So think red, stoplight, stop sign. So you have to stop. Okay. That's good. The more times we do this, the more practice. A flashing white signal from the control tower to a taxiing aircraft is an indication of... Does anyone want to guess?
I say C.
Yes. And also a reminder that flashing white is not applicable to the sky. And again, I'll tell you the story where I did not remember what flashing white was for the sky because it does not exist, which is a trick question. So if your examiner or if your CFI asks you, what does flashing white mean for an airplane in the air? They are just trying to trick you. It does not mean anything, okay? And they tricked me. That's why I'm telling you, don't get tricked like I did. An alternating red and green light signal from the control tower is a signal to
B.
yes, exercise extreme caution. And this is the same for the sky and the land. Good. Okay, while on final approach for landing, an alternating green and red light followed by a flashing red light is received from the control tower. Under these circumstances, the pilot should. Okay, so A is discontinue the approach, fly the same traffic pattern and approach again and land. B is exercise extreme caution and abandon the approach, realizing the airport is unsafe for landing. C, abandon the approach, circle the airport to the right, and expect a flashing light when the airport is safe for landing. Angel said B.
It is B.
Good. Okay, should be memorized. A blue segmented circle. Remember, segmented means dashed. A blue segmented circle on the sectional chart depicts what class airspace. This should be memorized.
C, Class D.
Class
It is D.
Class D, okay. Good. Good job, everyone. Okay. Airspace at an airport with a part-time control tower is classified as Class D airspace only when
B, when the associated control tower is in operation.
perfect. Okay, so it's part-time, sometimes so it opens mostly during the day and closes at night. Well, the exact hours you can look it up. And then when it closes, it actually turns into a Class E airport. And when it's a Class E airport, usually the same frequency that you use to talk to the tower will now become the frequency, the CTAF frequency, Common Traffic Advisory frequency, for you to talk to other pilots. So if you're not talking to the tower because the tower is closed, you can talk to other pilots, or you can just not talk to anybody because that is also legal, but generally we consider that unsafe. But if you actually don't have a radio, then you don't need a radio. You don't need to talk to anybody. Okay? Unless otherwise authorized, two-way radio communications with air traffic controllers are required for landings or takeoffs. A, at all tower control airports, regardless of weather conditions. B, at all tower control airports only when weather conditions are less than VFR. Or C, at all tower controlled airports with Class D airspace only when conditions are less than VFR.
I want to say A.
C.
Okay, so we have two A and B people are saying. Okay, let's read it. At all tower, okay, both of them say at all towered airports, but then one of them depends on the weather. So it's saying when weather is bad, that's what less than VFR means. It means the weather is bad. When the weather is bad, then and only then do we talk to the tower. Or do we talk to the tower? It doesn't matter what weather, we still need to talk to the tower.
Yeah, I still think it's A, but
Okay.
now
And you
second.
are right.
Right.
We're gonna save this for our other classmates, so I don't have to talk twice. I'm gonna save that for other classmates. Save that. Okay, two-way radio communications must be established with air traffic controller having jurisdiction over the area prior to entering which class airspace?
A.
What?
Class C.
Class C, A.
Okay. And for bonus points, what other class airspace do we need to be talking on the radio with?
Delta and Bravo.
Delta, yes, and Bravo. And Bravo is different from Charlie and Delta because of why?
You need a clearance.
Yes, you need them to specifically say you are cleared to enter the Bravo. So the keyword is cleared. If you don't hear the cleared, you cannot enter. Also, when it says two-way radio communication, if I'm just talking to them, can I go in or do I need to hear them say a specific something?
Yeah, you have to hear them say specifically cleared.
Your tail number.
Yes.
There.
Yes, good. Good. You guys are very good at this. Very good. You've been studying, I can tell. Okay. What is the minimum radio equipment required for operation within Class C airspace?
This one's C.
C.
Yes, this one's the one we got on the quiz.
I remember because of the encoding altimeter.
Altimeter, yeah. We got this in the quiz and we did not do well in the quiz. And then I had to explain encoding altimeter, also known as a transponder with altitude reporting capabilities or a mode C. So that's why we did not do well in this quiz. But now we do. Everyone knows this answer now because we got it wrong once and we won't get it wrong again. Okay. Who is allowed to enter Class B airspace? What minimum pilot certification is required for operation Class B airspace?
B.
B.
B? Okay. Yes. Private pilot or student pilot with appropriate logbook endorsements. Okay. Same question. Same question. It was that A.
Yep.
I'll answer this one. Okay. So we did minimum radio equipment for Class C. What about Class B? What is Class B required? And is it different from Class C? Okay, so if I'm reading the answers, A says two-way radio communications equipment with a 4096 code transponder. That's pretty good. We do need a radio. We do need a transponder.
Let's say B.
You say
B.
B? Okay.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes. Also, what's not on here is ADSB. Again, this is an old question. ADSB was required in 2020. So it's an old question. Okay. In which type of airspace are VFR
A.
flights prohibited? A. Yes, because in Class A, you need to be on IFR flight plan, and you need to be IFR rated, and you need to have an IFR equipped airplane.
Most single engine planes can't go up that high.
Yeah, also that too. We're gonna skip this. Wait for our classmate. Should I give you all of these questions in class tomorrow?
Let's do them now.
You want to do them
Say
now?
go for it.
Because I have to then I have to repeat the same thing on Monday.
Because I only can listen to you guys on Monday.
Oh, okay. Do we have a
That's
consensus?
fine.
Do you want to learn this all today?
That's up to you. I mean, the more repetition, the better it is.
Okay.
This is gonna be
Okay, let's go. So this is talking about how do you put your controls when there is either a tailwind or a headwind or a quartering tailwind. We have basically, so how would you position your controls? Because if you don't position them right, the wind can go under the wing and flip the airplane over. Okay, so while taxiing, when we have strong headwinds, tailwinds, we need to position our controls to combat the wind, okay, to prevent the wind from lifting up our wing. Okay, so we use two phrases. We use you want to dive into or dive away from the wind when there is a tailwind, and if there's a headwind, you want to climb into the wind. I need to show you pictures. I feel like I can't just talk. You won't know what I'm talking about.
I was going to say, I think that answer might have been C.
Yes, it is. Always go into the wind.
Okay. Actually, I want to see how well you guys know, just from what I just said. I want to see how well you guys can do it. Okay. So if I told you dive away from the wind when there is a tailwind and climb into the wind when there's a headwind, can you just figure out the answer from that, or do you need me to like show
I
you?
kind of know what you're talking about.
Let's try this question. Which aileron positions should a pilot generally use when taxiing in strong quartering headwinds? So,
Shouldn't it be ailerons up?
so ailerons up.
Oh no.
No.
No?
Okay, so this one's a headwind, and I said climb into the wind on a headwind. So what are you doing in your controls if you're climbing?
Pulling up.
You'd be going up.
Okay, you're pulling up, and I said climb into, so you have to actually change the control
Ah.
towards
So
where.
it's down. B. Oh.
Oh.
Because if you turn left on your aileron or on the control stick, that
Yeah, okay,
aileron looks
okay.
up. Yeah,
So that okay. Sorry, I was trying not to get confused with what you were asking.
it is confusing. Would you guys want to see pictures, or do you think you can try another question?
I want to see a picture.
You want to see a picture? Let me see. This is in this is actually in the not the PHAC, the other book. What is the other book other than the PHAC?
The airplane flying
Yeah,
handbook.
it's gonna be found in the airplane flying handbook. Uh, PHAC, so much PHACs. Airplane flying. Okay, this is going way back into. Let me find it. Airplane flying. I'll show it to you in the book, and then I'll show it to you in the airplane. So if I go to okay, so there's an example. If you have wind coming from the left, I'll say left quartering, so it's just saying it's coming from here, left quartering headwind. And then I say climb into the wind. So you're going to move your aileron towards where the wind's coming from, which is coming from the left. So you're going to move it left. And then to climb, you have to pull back. So you use up aileron on the where the wind's blowing from. Okay, that's an example. We could do the other example would be a right quartering tailwind, and then if I said dive away from a tailwind, what do you do to dive? To dive, you push down and away, so you have to move the aileron in the direction away from where the wind's blowing. So you would use down aileron on right hand wing and down elevator. Okay. So so for tail wheel versus nose wheel, if you can, some of the questions say either down or up elevator, and then some of them say neutral. Okay. For tail wheel, it's usually down or up elevator. For nose wheel, it is usually neutral. You would actually have to look at your POH because your POH will actually tell you whether or not your airplane requires neutral elevator to combat the winds while taxiing, or whether it requires down and up elevator. Let's see if I have any notes that I want to show you. Oh, see right here, the elevator control in nose wheel type airplanes should be held in the neutral position. But again, refer to your POH because your POH will actually tell you whether or not if it's neutral or down and up. Any other notes that I want? Let me see if I have any other notes. Okay, let me show you in the airplane.
not gonna lie, Miss Casey, I've been doing a lot of flying on that sucker. It actually helps with a lot of repetitions.
Yeah, it does, doesn't it?
Yeah, I actually unlocked it to where I could flew the F Phantom on
Oh, you
there.
did?
Good God, that thing's fast.
You have to pay for it, don't you? The
You do,
Phantom.
yeah.
Okay, so again, let's just practice. If I have a right quartering headwind and I say climb into the wind. For headwinds, you climb into the wind. So what do you do to climb? If it's right quartering, I'm going to turn right, and then
Pull.
I'm gonna pull, right, to climb. So what does that look like on my outside? See, it's gonna be my right aileron is up and my elevator is up. Okay, but let's do the opposite. Let's say I have a left. No, let's do we're gonna do right. So I have a right quartering tailwind, so it's coming behind me. And then for tailwinds, you have to dive away. So what do you do when you dive away? You're gonna push down. See, when I push down, my elevator goes down and then away. So I'm going to turn left. So when I do that, my left aileron goes up and my right aileron goes down. Okay? So I showed you that. I think we can answer these questions now. Oh, this one I didn't tell you. I'll just have to tell you the answer to this one. Which wind condition would be most critical when taxiing a nose-equipped high-wing airplane? It is a quartering tail wind, okay? Okay, this one. Now that we learned all of that, we can answer this question. How should the flight controls be held while taxiing a tricycle gear equipped airplane into a left quartering headwind? So remember, headwind dot climb into the wind for a headwind. So
BA.
it'd be A. Let's try A. Good. Let's do this one too. How should the flight controls be held while taxiing a tail wheel into a right quartering headwind? So it's also a headwind. You have to climb into it. It's just a different direction. Last time was left, this time's right. Okay, Angel says B. Ooh,
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
that one looked a little tricky, not gonna lie.
Um, yeah. Let's just do it in real life. What is it?
I think
Right
because
quartering.
it's into a right quartering headwind, so
Okay.
right aileron.
Okay, so right quartering headwind. So you have to climb into the wind. So right, so it's coming from the right. So I'm gonna turn right because I want to go into the wind, and I'm gonna pull back because I want to climb into the wind. So then that means my right aileron is up and my left aileron is down. Okay. Oh no, it paused. Hold on. Sorry. Yeah, so the right aileron was up and I'm climbing, so the left elevator is up. Okay, how about this one? Who wants to do this one? How should the flight controls be held? Taxiing. Okay, this one is a tailwind and it's coming from the left. Remember, a tailwind, you have to dive away. Who wants to do this one? Dive away.
Wouldn't it be C?
Good. Let me arch my computer, it's gonna die. Um,
don't kill it.
They'll kill it, yeah. Then I'd have to end the Zoom meeting because the computer's dead. Okay. How should the flight controls be held while taxiing tricycle gear? Okay, left quartering tailwind. So we want to dive away. It's coming from the left. What do we need to do when we dive away coming from the left? Who wants to answer this one? Should I answer it? I don't see any
Let's say
volunteers.
B.
B? Okay. Good. Good. Okay.
Miss Casey, how do you
Yeah.
know what position to put the elevator in?
So
For
when I say dive away or climb, like let's look at it in the airplane, right? If I say dive away, how do you dive? You push down, right? So if I push down, look what happens to the elevator. The elevator goes down. If I say climb, you pull back. But look what happens to the elevator when you climb. The elevator goes up. So that's how you would know. So it depends if it's a headwind or a tailwind. If it's a headwind, I say climb into, so that means your elevator would be up because you're climbing. If it's a tailwind, I say dive away. So push down on the elevator. In a tailwind, your elevator would be down.
I think they're getting confused with the ailerons.
Yeah, the ailerons too. Um, you just have to remember that whatever direction you put the ailerons, either left or right, um, whatever direction you point the ailerons to, that aileron will go up. So if I pointed the ailerons left, your left aileron will go up. Where is it? See, your left aileron goes up. If I pointed the aileron to the right, your right aileron will go up. So whatever direction you point your ailerons, that's the aileron that will go up. And also the wording of the question is going to confuse you. Sometimes they'll say like, it would be like a right quartering headwind, but then like the answer would be, oh, your left aileron is down. So it's like the wording of the question also confuses you. You just have to pay attention, right? Okay. Oh, this question reminds me of the post that Angel posted on school. If I don't know if any of you read this, um, but
Yeah, that looks familiar.
he posted one about how airplanes they crab when they land for crosswinds. So their nose will be pointed one direction, but the airplane is actually flying a different direction.
That's not a drag.
However, when you crab to combat the winds, when you're about to touch down, you can't land sideways. You cannot land with your nose pointed to the side of the runway. You can't land like that. You actually have to straighten the nose right before you touch down um, to make it parallel. So to minimize the side loads, because if you landed sideways, you were going to have a side load placed on the landing gear. During touchdown, the pilot should keep the longitudinal axis. So I often say the nose of the airplane, but technically it's the entire longitudinal axis of the aircraft parallel to the direction of its motion. So right before you land, you're supposed to straighten out the airplane so that the airplane is parallel to the runway because even if you were flying sideways the entire time to prevent yourself from drifting because of the winds, you can't land like that. You cannot land with your nose pointing towards the side of the runway. You have to straighten out and the nose has to be uh, parallel to the runway. Yeah, that's the answer is B. Right here. Failure to accomplish this imposes severe side loads on the landing gear. So side stresses. Okay? It's going to stress the airplane. You're going to damage it. Okay, more practice. See, it's repetitive. The more you see this, the more better you get. Okay, the airspace directly overlying the town of Finlay. 3. Zoom in for Finlay. This is Finlay. Who wants to guess what airspace is Finlay? Any guesses? Mhm.
We can do it. Class A.
This is class E from the surface. So if you remember, class E is a dotted or dashed magenta line, class E from the surface. Okay? Class E from the surface. Okay? What is the length of the displaced threshold for runway 22 at Toledo? Okay, so I showed you guys this in class on last class, I think Wednesday. To read this, you could just refer to the legend that I showed to you. But real quick, if you just want to figure out runway information, first of all, this is named Toledo. They just have the runways here, runway 1432, runway 314, and runway 32, and it just tells you all of the runways, right? So what we want to do is look for runway 22. So we look at runway 22, and then if you go down this line, it has an abbreviation for
80.
threshold displaced, and it says 380. Okay, so that's how you would read that. I think you just need practice. A way to practice reading this is just pull this up and then where was that? Pull up yeah, pull up the legend and just like read it. Where was that? Right here, right? Just go to this link. It'll have the legend, and then it has the legend, and then you just take this legend, and then you just take one of maybe like the one from your home airport or just like one of the big airports and just start reading it. Okay. You don't have to know everything. What you need to know is just like the runways and the radios. Just important. So you need to know the runways, you need to know the radios, the communications, what airspace it is. What else that's important? Maybe the runway lengths. Just take time and just look at it. Okay. Just compare the abbreviations. Okay. Okay, this is a big Bravo. What is it asking? The floor of the Class B Bravo. So it's asking where does the Bravo start? That's the floor, okay? And it's asking specifically over Hicks Airport. So it says Area 4, Hicks. So if I zoom in, I see Hicks Airport right here. And it wants to know what the floor of the Class B airspace is. Northwest of. Okay, so they tell us it's northwest of 4th Mitcham Field. That's just to help us identify where Hicks is, but I already found Hicks without this information. So, okay. How do you know when the Bravo starts and when the Bravo ends? Okay, to know, in each section of the Bravo, so this blue space right here, there's going to be fraction. It looks like a fraction in each section. So there's a fraction here, there's a fraction here. In every single space of the Bravo, there should
For
be
the
there's a
400.
fraction, yeah. So the fraction tells you where it starts and where it ends. So the bottom, the floor, and the top, the ceiling. Okay, and it tells you in hundreds of feet. So you have to add 2 zeros at the end. So the bottom number will tell you the floor. So you add 2 zeros, that'd be 4,000 feet. Okay. So again, how did I do it? The question's asking what is the floor of this specific Bravo, and it gave me Hicks. It's saying like the Bravo above Hicks. So I look in this blue area, and then I look for a fraction. I found the fraction, and it asks for the floor. So I look for the bottom number, and then I remember you have to add 2 zeros to it, and it's 4,000. Okay. See you later, Chris. Or I think he already left. Again, this is another practice of the same thing. So the more we do it, the more we practice. This is asking Addison Airport, the floor of Class B airspace at Addison Airport. It's saying Area 2. So I'm going to go to Area 2. I want to find Addison. Addison's right here. Okay. So it's asking for this right here. This blue space. What is the floor? Okay. Now, if you pay attention, you cannot find a fraction in here. See, like I'm looking in this space right here and I can't find a fraction. So what do you do if you cannot find a fraction that will tell you what the floor is? Well, do you see Addison Airport? If you see Addison Airport is actually a class delta. And right here in this delta, there is a box that says 30 in it, a negative 30. That box tells you the ceiling of the delta. Okay? The negative sign says the ceiling does not include 3,000. So the ceiling is actually 2,999. Okay, that's what the negative sign means, okay? So if the ceiling is only 2,999 and it's not including 3,000 because above the delta is when the Bravo starts, which means above the delta here, Bravo starts. So Bravo starts at 3,000 feet. 3,000 feet. Bravo starts at 3,000 feet. Okay? That's how I identified it without finding the fraction. Usually you use the fraction. In that case, it was a special case. It didn't have the fraction. Okay. Okay, now you have to remember all the airspaces I told you about. This one. What hazards to aircraft may exist in the restricted areas, such as our... Do you know what? This question, you don't even need to look at the map to answer it. You just need to remember what a restricted airspace has in it. Okay, but since they gave us the map, let's just look at it just for funsies.
It's A.
It's somebody said A. So
No.
A is a MOA, military operating area. So military operating area is when the military does the training. Restricted is
It's hot.
unusual, often invisible hazards such as aerial gunnery or guided missiles.
Isn't that
But
a MOA though?
it's okay, it's fine. But since we have it, they gave us, let's look at it. It says, where's the area for? Tell me if you, oh, right here. This is R. It's
Corner.
R for restricted. This is gonna look like this. Okay, so it has invisible gunnery that is dangerous to us. Aerial gunnery or guided missiles or just hazards in general. So here it says hazards, artillery firing, aerial gunnery, guided missiles. Yeah, it's dangerous. Dangerous, dangerous, dangerous. Oh,
Let's go.
for bonus, can you enter a restricted area?
Yes, with permission.
With permission. How hard? It's kind of hard to get permission. It's not hard. I'll say it's iffy. But what about prohibited? Can you enter prohibited?
Yes, with permission from
Yeah, oh yes. Well, yes, with permission, but you will find that it is super, super, super hard to get permission for prohibited versus restricted. So
On the test, if we would only answer it if it says permission, otherwise we would say no.
yes,
Right?
yes.
yeah, that's a good one. Yes.
Yes. Well, if it's not high, you can go in. It all
Yeah.
depends.
For restricted, it will tell you the times that it's open or not.
Approach
Okay.
will tell you.
Excuse me?
I said approach will tell you.
Yes,
Well,
approach too. You could ask them too. So you don't have to look it up. You can look it up first and then you could ask for confirmation, or you could just ask because you have approach with you. During pre-flight planning, your course is plotted to fly through the R2305. Where would you find additional information regarding this airspace? Okay. So I said you can look it up, but where would you look it up? Does anybody know? To be honest, you don't need this to answer this question. They just give it to us, so we'll just look. Where's R? R what? Oh, it's this big restricted. It says restricted. Okay. Okay, does anybody know where you would look up this information? They give us 3 options.
B?
It's actually C on the sectional chart in the special use airspace area. So if I go to my sectional chart, ooh, that's bad. Okay, this is my sectional chart, right? On the sectional chart, it has right here, there's special use airspace. Special use airspace on the sectional. And then I look up, because it has a number, that's what the numbers are for, to look it up. So I'll look it up. And then it tells you where the altitude is. So if I fly over 1600, I should be good. And then it tells you what time are in use. This it's from sunrise to sunset. And most of them is sunrise to sunset, which means at night you're clear. This one says by NOTAM, 20 hours in advance. So they're just gonna keep on publishing it. I don't know. I just feel like they should have set hours, but apparently they don't. They either you have to actually look up 24 hours in advance. They will publish what the times for that day because they're fickle and they don't want to choose a time. This one's from 7 to 1600 hours or intermittent. Okay. So then I'll tell you, and I'll tell you who. Oh, okay. This is strange to me. Usually they have the frequencies so you can call them, but in this case, they don't have the frequencies. That's
It's an
interesting.
outdated chart.
Yeah. Next. Okay. Okay, so what hazards to aircraft may exist in an area such as Devil's Lake East MOA, military operating area? Again, you don't need this chart to answer this question, but since they have it, we'll just look. Where is it? Oh, it's right here. Devil's Lake East MOA, and it's this huge area. Okay.
Red.
Yes, red. Okay. What is the answer to this question? What is the MOA for? Military operating area.
See.
C. I like how Angel's just like, but it's like that. It's actually a backward C you gave me. Is your like camera flipped? Okay.
I think it is, yeah.
Okay. What type of military flight operations should a pilot expect along IR 644? Where is it? Area 3. Area 3. Okay, so there's this gray line right here, and then it says IR, and then has like string of numbers. Okay. What is that? What is that? Do you remember what it is? Do you remember what it is?
It's IFR, isn't it?
Yes, IFR training. Okay, so we're gonna, if we wanted to deduce which the answer is, we know it's IFR. So it's either A or C, and then it gives us IFR training above 1,500 feet at speeds in excess of 250 knots or below 1,500 feet at speeds in excess of 150 knots. So now we have to remember the exact numbers. Does anyone remember, or do you just want me to do it? No one remembers?
Yes.
Yes. Yes, okay.
Oh,
Let's review this. Let's review this real quick. This is going to be found in the airspace slides.
Oh, 250, yeah.
Airspace. Got airspace slides all the way down. Where is it? Military training routes. Okay, so what we need to remember is this is where military aircraft are going to practice high-speed, low-altitude training operations. Okay, they're going to practice it below 10,000 feet at speeds over 250 knots. Okay, if it's 3 digits like they gave us, that means it has segments above 1,500 feet AGL. If it's 4 digits, it is below 1,000 feet AGL. That's actually what it's asking. It's asking, is it above or is it below? Okay, and then we know because of how many digits it is, it's 3 digits. Okay. And yeah, and then it's going to be at speeds over 250 knots. You can fly through these, but they are written on the map for you to be cautious of very fast military flying aircraft at low altitudes. Okay? Yeah, let's see. And turns into it has 3 digits, generally above, but sometimes segments below operation. Okay, it didn't give us any brand new information. Okay. What is the recommended communications procedure for landing at Currituck County Airport? They give us 3 options. One of them means transmit intentions on a frequency when 10 miles out and give position reports in the traffic pattern. Contact Elizabeth City FSS Fly Service Station for airport advisory service, or contact New Bern FSS for area traffic information. Actually, I can answer this question without looking in the map. But we'll look at the map anyways, okay? We'll start with that. Let's go to Area 3. Let's find Currituck. Okay, this is Currituck. What airspace is Currituck? What airspace is Currituck? Right here. This is Currituck. What airspace? Can anyone tell me what airspace Currituck is?
I'm trying to
Class?
remember. Shaded magenta. Would that be G?
Yes, this is a class G. Angel said class E because of the shaded, but shaded means class E starts at 700. Okay, which means below 700 is class G. So you are right, it is class G. Do you need to be talking to anybody on the radio when it's
No.
class E? Yep, you don't need to talk to anybody. So, but it is courtesy and safety to be talking. So, who are you talking to? That is the question. Who are you talking to? These two answers says FSS, Flight Service Station. You're not going to be talking to Flight Service Station. Flight Service Station gives you information like weather planning, just information in general, but you need to be talking to other pilots, right? You need to be telling, hey, I'm here. The reason why is because we don't want to hit each other, so we know where everybody is. That's why we're talking to other pilots, not Flight Service Station. They don't really care where you are. You're only using them for advice. But if you zoom in, we have to remember how to read this. All right, let's quick memory. AWAS means weather. That's a frequency for weather. 18, that is the elevation. Wow. Oh, of course, because this is close to the sea. Of course, it's close to the sea level. So it's 18 feet above the sea level. That makes sense. L means the runway is lighted up at night. The asterisk usually means um, pilot controlled lighting, or there are special limitations on the lighting. There's these two numbers will be the longest runway in use, so in hundreds of feet. So you have to put 2 zeros at the end. So that's 5,500 feet. So this number should not be confused with this number. The elevation will always be in italics. It'll be slanted, while the runway number will be straight. Now this is actually what we're looking for. This C means CTAF, Common Traffic Advisory Frequency. This is the frequency that you will be talking to other pilots. And again, this is a Class G airport. You don't need to be talking to anybody legally, but we talk to people for courtesy and for safety. And this is the frequency that you'll be talking, 122.9. Okay, so the answer is you're going to transmit intentions on 122.9 when 10 miles out and give position reports in the traffic pattern. Okay. Again, I could answer this question without even looking at this chart, just by process of elimination, because I know I'm not going to be talking to Flight Service Station. I want to be talking to other pilots. Okay. And that brings us to the end of everything. Thank you, everybody, for coming. I hope this was helpful. And
It
I hope
really
you got
was. Thank you
lots
very
of
much.
practice.
Good
That's
night.
it.
Miss Casey,
Yes.
my CFI told me that they were gonna change the entire test like in the beginning of September, like with new
Ooh.
questions and everything.
Yes, I heard that too.
Yeah.
a lot of
Yeah. So
a
it's
lot of
gonna be hard for you guys. The thing is, they're changing the test. They're introducing new questions that are not in the original test bank. So all the questions are that I'm showing you are questions in the original test bank, or not the original, but some old questions that have been in the test bank before. Which means that it's no longer based on memorization of the question and answers, but rather the actual concepts itself. So we need to not just only study the test, but we need to study, which we've been doing in class. Like I've been giving you all the concepts. Still memorizing these questions answer are helpful because they give you information, right? If you memorize this is the answer to this question, then you know in your head, like 10 miles out, I should give position reports. So if you see another question and then you're going to use the test, you're going to like use 10 miles out, I should give position reports. So I'm going to pick the answer that's like 10 miles. So things like that. So it's still helpful to memorize the question answer, even if this is not the exact question answer you're going to be seeing on the new test.
Yeah,
But it
it's
is,
a good thing that we're gonna take it in July.
it is, it's going to be, take it before September is just the advice.
Yeah, that's what we try to do.
That's the advice I give you. It is what it is. But yeah, I hope this helped. I hope this
Thank you very much.
You are
Good
welcome.
night.
Bye, everybody.